Part 1. The Weakest Species. The Galactic Academy of Combat Sciences floated silently above the blue clouds of planet Virix 9. It was the most prestigious military academy in the entire Galactic Confederation. Only the strongest species were invited to study there. Warriors, conquerors, predators. Species whose civilizations had mastered warfare long before they mastered peace. Every cadet who entered its gates represented a race that dominated its homeworld. Every cadet except one, the human. The shuttle doors opened with a metallic hiss. A small boy stepped out. He looked fragile. 2 arms, 2 legs, soft skin, no claws, no armor plates, no fangs. Just a simple academy uniform slightly too big for him. The aliens watching from the landing platform stared. Then one of them laughed. The laugh came from a towering reptilian cadet nearly 3 meters tall. "That is the human?" Another alien, a 4-armed insectoid, tilted its head. "I thought humans were supposed to be dangerous." "Dangerous?" the reptilian snorted. "That thing looks like it would break if the wind blows." More laughter erupted. The boy didn't react. He simply picked up his small bag and walked forward. His name was Elias Carter, and he was an orphan from Earth. The Galactic Confederation had only recently discovered humanity. At first, the aliens were fascinated. Humans were adaptable, creative, emotionally unpredictable. But physically, they were considered weak, pathetically weak. Most galactic species evolved in harsh environments with stronger gravity, deadlier predators, and brutal ecosystems. Humans evolved on a peaceful green planet filled with oxygen and soft creatures. To the aliens, Earth looked like a vacation resort. So when the Confederation offered one human a scholarship to the Galactic Academy, most species assumed it was a joke. And when they saw Elias, they were certain of it. Elias walked through the academy gates. Massive alien cadets towered around him. A hulking warrior with armored skin like black stone. A 6-legged predator with glowing yellow eyes. A creature made of shimmering blue crystal. Everywhere Elias looked, something powerful stared back. And every stare carried the same message: you don't belong here. The Academy commander stood waiting in the central courtyard, Commander Threx Valkar, a legendary warlord from the Orphan species. His armored body was covered in battle scars. Even the strongest cadets stood straighter when he looked at them. Threx examined Elias silently. Then he spoke. "You are the human." "Yes, sir," Elias replied calmly. "You are aware that no human has ever attended this academy." "Yes, sir." "You are aware that most species here consider your race weak." "Yes, sir." The commander leaned closer. "Why are you here, human?" For a moment, the courtyard fell silent. Hundreds of alien cadets watched. Elias simply answered, "Because someone has to be the first." The commander stared at him. Then he turned away. "We will see." Training began immediately, and the bullying began even faster. Day 1. The first test was strength. Cadets had to lift heavy combat weights designed for high-gravity species. Most cadets lifted them easily. The reptilian bully from earlier lifted 2 at once. When Elias stepped forward, whispers spread. "This will be good. He won't even move it. Watch the human embarrass himself." Elias gripped the metal handles. The weight barely moved. Laughter erupted around the arena. "Pathetic. Is that your maximum effort, human?" Elias tried again. The weight rose a few centimeters, then dropped. More laughter. The instructor wrote something on a tablet. Strength rating, extremely low. The reptilian cadet leaned down towards Elias. "Maybe you should go back to your soft little planet." Elias didn't answer. He simply walked away. Day 2. Speed trials. A massive obstacle course designed for elite warriors. Aliens leapt across platforms, climbed walls, sprinted faster than vehicles. Elias ran too, but compared to them, he looked slow. The reptilian finished first. Elias finished near the bottom. More laughter. Humans really are useless. Why is he even here? Day 3. Combat simulation. Cadets fought training drones. The drones were calibrated to match each species' average ability, but Elias struggled. The drones knocked him down repeatedly. He stood up every time, but he still lost. Bruised, exhausted, humiliated. The alien cadets watched with cruel amusement. Day 4. Endurance test. Extreme heat chamber. Many aliens were comfortable in intense temperatures. Humans? Not so much. Elias collapsed halfway through. Medics carried him out. The reptilian cadet clapped mockingly. "Impressive performance, human." Day 5. Zero-gravity maneuvering. Aliens adapted quickly. Elias struggled again. Another failure. Another round of laughter. Day 6. Psychological evaluation. Aliens expected humans to break under pressure, and after 5 days of humiliation, they were sure Elias would quit. But he didn't. When the instructor asked if he wished to withdraw, Elias answered the same way. "No, sir." The reptilian cadet rolled his eyes. "This is getting boring." Another alien said, "Why doesn't the human just leave already?" But Elias stayed, quiet, watching, learning. That night, inside the dormitory, the bullying escalated. The reptilian cadet cornered Elias. His name was Krath Vorn, one of the strongest students in the academy. Krath grabbed Elias by the collar and lifted him off the ground. "You've embarrassed yourself for 6 days. Why are you still here?" Elias didn't resist. He just looked at Krath calmly. Krath growled, "Answer me." Elias said quietly, "Because tomorrow is day 7. Krath laughed. "What does that mean?" Elias smiled slightly. "You'll see." Krath dropped him. Pathetic human. But as Krath walked away, for some reason he felt uneasy, because during those 6 days, Elias had never once looked afraid. Far away, deep within the Academy's observation tower, Commander Threx watched the recordings of the past week. Every test, every failure, every moment of humiliation. An officer beside him shook his head. "The human is clearly unfit. Should we remove him from the program?" Threx did not answer immediately. Instead, he replayed a clip. It showed Elias standing up after being knocked down by a drone, then standing again, then again, then again. The officer sighed. "Persistence doesn't change biology." Threx finally spoke.
No, but sometimes it changes history. The officer frowned. What do you mean? Threx looked towards the training arena below. Tomorrow, he said slowly, we will see the truth about humans, because tomorrow was day 7, and day 7 would change the galaxy.
Part 2. Day 7. The Human Strikes Back. The sun rose over Virex 9, casting a harsh metallic glow across the academy. For most cadets, it was just another day of training. For Elias Carter, it was the day everything would change. He woke before dawn. His small frame moved silently through the dormitory. While the alien cadets snored, sprawled across massive beds, he meditated. His breathing calm, his mind focused. He had spent 6 days observing, learning, understanding. Every cadet's pattern, every weakness, every overconfidence, every cruel laugh had been a clue, every insult a map. By the end of day 7, they would understand why humans were feared, not for strength, not for speed, not for raw power, but for something far more dangerous. The first test was combat. The instructors had set up a simulation arena. Advanced combat drones programmed to match the cadets' maximum abilities hovered and clanked, ready for challenge. The alien cadets flexed their muscles, sharpened their claws, adjusted their armor. Krath Vorn, the reptilian who had mocked Elias the most, roared loudly, "This is it, human. Today you will finally fail." Elias didn't answer. He only smiled faintly. The simulation began. Drones descended. Krath and other cadets attacked with ferocity. Aliens moved as if in perfect choreography. And then Elias moved. Not fast, not strong, not flashy, but with precision. He sidestepped the first attack, parried the second, exploited a drone's programming glitch. One by one, the drones fell. Not destroyed, disabled. The aliens froze. They had never seen a human move like this. Krath growled, charging. Elias stepped aside calmly. Using Krath's momentum against him, he sent the towering reptilian crashing into a padded wall. The other cadets watched, jaws dropping. How?" one stammered. Elias didn't answer. He simply adjusted his uniform and walked away from the arena. A silence fell across the academy. The instructors whispered among themselves, "Impossible. He's adapting faster than predicted. Day 7, and he's only beginning." Commander Threx Valkar leaned back in his chair. "Yes," he murmured, eyes narrowing. "This is what I expected." Next was strategy. The cadets were assigned to team exercises. Krath, the insectoids, and other elites laughed as they dragged Elias to their mission briefing. "Don't even try, human," Krath sneered. They set up a simulated planetary invasion, complete with holographic units, defenses, and resource points. The humans were supposed to fail spectacularly, but Elias didn't panic. He analyzed, he observed, he predicted. By the time the timer ran out, he had routed the alien cadets using unconventional tactics. Instead of brute force, he leveraged their assumptions. He anticipated every predictable move. The alien instructors stared in disbelief. Krath's tail lashed the ground in anger. This can't be." Elias said softly, "You didn't expect a human to think differently." By mid-afternoon, news of Elias's victory spread like wildfire. Cadets who had mocked him now whispered in awe, He's not just surviving, he's dominating. He's rewriting every rule we know about humans." Even the arrogant elites were beginning to feel doubt. But the true shock came during the physical trials. The Academy had prepared a final gauntlet. Gravity shifts, extreme temperatures, obstacle arrays, combat drones, combat cadets. The aliens assumed it would break him. They underestimated something again. Elias moved with calculated calm. He exploited every environmental factor, every trap, every hazard, every overconfident opponent. By the time the gauntlet ended, cadets who had laughed at him for 6 days were gasping for breath, bruised, humiliated. Elias emerged spotless. That evening, Elias was summoned to Commander Threx's office. The massive office overlooked the Academy grounds. Threx motioned for Elias to sit. "You've passed the unthinkable," Threx said. Elias nodded quietly. "You've done what no human or any species has done before. You have endured, adapted, and outperformed. Why?" Elias looked directly at Threx. "Because humans survive when others would fail. Because we learn from pain. Because we never stop." Threx studied him, then smiled faintly. Day 7 is indeed changed everything. Meanwhile, Krath and the other cadets gathered in the dormitory, their confidence shattered. Krath glared at Elias. "You tricked us. This isn't fair." Elias's calm voice responded, "It's not about fairness. It's about understanding, something your species rarely does." The alien cadets didn't know how to respond. They had never encountered a mind so disciplined, so cunning, so human. News of Elias's feats reached the wider Galactic Confederation. Reports circulated across thousands of planets. A human had survived the most brutal academy in the galaxy. A human had dominated cadets from over 50 species. A human had proven that what the galaxy considered weak could in fact be unstoppable. Commander Threx presented Elias with a medal. It wasn't just a medal, it was recognition, a symbol that the human species could no longer be ignored. Elias returned to the dormitory that night. Krath approached him quietly, no longer mocking. "I don't understand humans," Krath admitted. Elias smiled faintly. "Then maybe you should start paying attention." The other cadets nodded. The tables had turned. The bullies were now students eager to learn from the human. And far beyond the academy, intelligence networks picked up reports of Day 7. Every species that had doubted humans paused. Every leader began reconsidering their assumptions. If one human could do this, what could humanity as a whole achieve? The final test of the day was not in combat, it was in perception. Elias walked to the observation tower. From there he could see the galaxy stretching endlessly. He realized something. Weakness was a perception, strength was multifaceted, and humans thrived in ways other species couldn't even imagine. That night, as Elias slept, the Academy changed forever. Rules were rewritten, tests were redesigned. The idea of weak species no longer applied, because Day 7 had revealed the most dangerous force in the galaxy: human adaptability, human perseverance, human ingenuity.
and the galaxy would never be the same. Part 2, End.
Part 3. The Human Triumphs. The dawn over Virex 9 was different this morning. Whispers of Day 7's events had spread across the Academy like wildfire. Alien cadets walked cautiously. Even the instructors watched with a mix of disbelief and curiosity. For the first time in Galactic Academy history, a single species had rewritten the rules of survival in 1 week. And the human boy, Elias Carter, was about to demonstrate that survival was only the beginning. The morning assembly was unlike anything the Academy had ever hosted. Hundreds of cadets gathered, forming perfect lines. Krath Vorn and other former bullies stood silently at the back, eyes fixed on Elias. Commander Threx Valvar took the stage, his massive form casting a shadow over the crowd. "Cadets," he began, voice booming, "you have witnessed something extraordinary. Day 7 has shown us a truth we ignored for centuries. Humans are not to be underestimated." Murmurs spread. Some cadets whispered excitedly. Others stared, confused. "What is he planning?" one insectoid cadet asked. Elias stepped forward calmly. "I am here," he said quietly, "to show you what humans are capable of. Not just surviving, but thriving, learning, and adapting in ways that no species can predict." The crowd was silent. The first test was a team exercise, but with a twist. Instead of simulations, the cadets would face a real alien scenario. Commander Threx projected a holographic map of a hostile planet. "Your task is simple. Capture the energy core. Do not destroy the planet. Do not harm civilians, but succeed before your opponents." The alien teams laughed. "Humans? Impossible," they said. Elias analyzed the map. He noted every elevation, every trap, every potential hazard. And then he smiled. When the exercise began, chaos erupted. Alien cadets charged, drones fired, explosions echoed. Elias moved differently. Not with brute force, not with speed, but with strategy. He used the terrain, the drones, and even the mistakes of his opponents against them. Every ambush became an advantage. Every trap became a path forward. By the time the first energy core was captured, Elias's team was far ahead. The aliens could not keep up. Krath tried to stop him. The towering reptilian lunged, claws extended. Elias sidestepped. He guided Krath into an energy field trap he had predicted moments earlier. Krath roared in frustration. You're cheating!" Elias smiled. "This isn't cheating. It's human ingenuity." The other cadets stopped laughing. Some began to take notes. Some began to realize that underestimating a human was the gravest mistake they could make. The second test was the challenge of endurance. The cadets were sent to the Edge Zone, a simulated environment replicating extreme gravity, toxic atmosphere, and fluctuating energy fields. Even elite alien species struggled. Humans, it was assumed, would fail immediately. Elias, however, moved calmly. He adapted to the fluctuating gravity. He recalculated each step. He manipulated the environment to conserve energy. Hours passed. Other cadets collapsed. Elias reached the core of the Edge Zone, still fully functional. The instructor's jaws dropped. Threx nodded slowly. Persistence wins. Adaptability conquers. By midday, the academy had been completely transformed. Cadets once arrogant and cruel now watched Elias with awe. Krath approached him quietly. "I don't understand humans," he admitted, voice low. Elias looked at him. "Then stop trying to understand with your instincts. Learn with your mind." It was a lesson they would never forget. The final trial was not physical, nor tactical, nor strategic. It was psychological. The Academy projected holograms of an alien invasion, a scenario designed to induce panic, fear, and despair. Cadets were expected to break. Elias, he smiled. He analyzed the fears, the triggers, the overreactions of every alien species. Instead of panicking, he orchestrated calm. He organized the responses. He corrected the mistakes. He turned chaos into order. By the end, the simulation reported 100% success. Commander Threx's eyes widened. That evening, the cadets returned to the dormitory. Krath and the other former bullies gathered around Elias. "Teach us," Krath said humbly. "Show us how humans survive like this." Elias nodded. And for the first time, the bullies became students. The student body had been rewritten. The ripple of Day 7 extended beyond the Academy. News feeds across the Galactic Confederation reported the event. Military strategists, scientists, and leaders analyzed the reports in disbelief. A human had survived, outperformed, and dominated in a hostile environment designed for the strongest species in the galaxy. A human had proven the unimaginable. Reports came from hundreds of systems. Human adaptability exceeds all known species. Humans demonstrate psychological resilience unmatched by Corthans or Varixians. Day 7 redefines interspecies expectations. Commander Threx convened a council. Representatives of 50 species attended. "This human boy has changed everything," Threx declared. "His success demands we reconsider the role of humanity in galactic affairs." A Varixian delegate leaned forward. "You mean humanity may no longer be a weak species?" Threx smiled faintly. "Yes, they are the species that can survive what others cannot, adapt when others fail, and think beyond our calculations. They are extraordinary." Weeks later, Elias returned to Earth. He carried not only his medal, but a message for humanity. For the first time, humans would be seen not as weak, but as potential equals in a galaxy full of predators. And back at the Academy, Krath and the other cadets trained differently, not to dominate others, but to understand the human mind. The galaxy would never again underestimate Earth. And so, from the smallest human orphan to the greatest legend of the Galactic Academy, Elias Carter became the symbol of what humans could achieve, not through brute force, not through speed or armor, but through adaptability, perseverance, and ingenuity. Day 7 had indeed changed the galaxy. Epilogue. Years later, historians would write about the event as the